Google Corporate Affairs and Culture. On Fortune magazine's list of the best companies to work for, Google ranked first in 2007, 2008 and 2012, and fourth in 2009 and 2010. Google was also nominated in 2010 to be the world's most attractive employer to graduating students in the Universum Communications Talent Attraction Index. Google's corporate philosophy includes principles such as you can make money without doing evil, you can be serious without a suit, and work should be challenging and the challenge should be fun. Innovation time off policy. As a motivation technique, Google uses a policy known as innovation time off, where Google engineers are encouraged to spend 20% of their work time on projects that interest them. Some of Google's services, such as Gmail, Google News, Orkut, and AdSense originated from these independent endeavors. In a talk at Stanford University, Marissa Mayer, Google's vice president of search products and user experience until July 2012, showed that half of all new product launches in the second half of 2005 had originated from the innovation time off. The New York Times exposé, 2018. On October 25, 2018, the New York Times published the exposé, How Google Protected Andy Rubin, the father of Android. The company subsequently announced that 48 employees have been fired over the last 2 years for sexual misconduct. A week after the article appeared, Google X, renamed X Development LLC in 2015, executive Rich Duvall resigned pursuant to a complaint of sexual harassment. Employees. As of March 2018, Google has 85,050 employees. Google's 2017 diversity report states that 31% of its workforce are women and 69% are men, with the ethnicity of its workforce being predominantly white, 56%, and Asian, 35%. Within tech roles, however, 20% were women, and 25% of leadership roles were held by women. The report also announced that Intel's former vice president, CDO, and CHRO Danielle Brown would be joining Google as its new vice president of diversity. A March 2013 report was presented at EclipseCon 2013 which detailed that Google had over 10,000 developers based in more than 40 offices. Google's employees are hired based on a hierarchical system. Employees are split into 6 hierarchies based on experience and can range from entry-level data center workers at level 1 to managers and experienced engineers at level 6. Following the company's IPO in 2004, founders Sergey Brin and Larry Page and CEO Eric Schmidt requested that their base salary be cut to $1. Subsequent offers by the company to increase their salaries were turned down, primarily because their main compensation continues to come from owning stock in Google. Before 2004, Schmidt made $250,000 per year, and Page and Brin each received an annual salary of $150,000. In March 2008, Sheryl Sandberg, then Vice President of Global Online Sales and Operations, began her position as Chief Operating Officer of Facebook. In 2009, early employee Tim Armstrong left to become CEO of AOL. In July 2012, Google's first female engineer, Marissa Mayer, left Google to become Yahoo's CEO. In January 2017, Google employees donated over $2 million to a crisis fund in support of refugees. The company matched the donation with an additional $2 million. Employees then organized a global workplace walkout, aided by the hashtag #GooglersUnite, to protest U.S. President Donald Trump's Muslim travel ban. In late 2017, former Intel executive Diane Bryant became Chief Operating Officer of Google Cloud. On November 1, 2018, Google employees staged a global walkout to protest the company's handling of sexual harassment complaints, including the golden parachute exit of former executive Andy Rubin. More than 20,000 employees and contractors participated. CEO Sundar Pichai was reported to be in support of the protests. Office locations and headquarters. Mountain View . Google's headquarters in Mountain View, California is referred to as the Googleplex, a play on words on the number Googleplex and the headquarters itself being a complex of buildings. The lobby is decorated with a piano, lava lamps, old server clusters, and a projection of search queries on the wall. The hallways are full of exercise balls and bicycles. Many employees have access to the corporate recreation center. Recreational amenities are scattered throughout the campus and include a workout room with weights and rowing machines, locker rooms, washers and dryers, a massage room, assorted video games, table football, a baby grand piano, a billiard table, and ping pong. In addition to the recreation room, there are snack rooms stocked with various foods and drinks, with special emphasis placed on nutrition. Free food is available to employees 24/7, with the offerings provided by paid vending machines prorated based on and favoring those of better nutritional value. Google's extensive amenities are not available to all of its workers. Temporary workers such as book scanners do not have access to shuttles, Google cafes, or other perks. New York City equals. In 2006, Google moved into about 300,000 square feet, 27,900 square meters, of office space in New York City, at 111 8th Avenue in Manhattan. The office was designed and built specially for Google, and houses its largest advertising sales team, which has been instrumental in securing large partnerships. The New York headquarters includes a game room, micro kitchens, and a video game area. In 2010, Google bought the building housing the headquarters, in a deal that valued the property at around $1.9 billion, the biggest for a single building in the United States that year. In February 2012, Google moved additional employees to the New York City campus, with a total of around 2,750 employees. Google's New York City location continued to expand in 2018. In March of that year, Google's parent company Alphabet bought Chelsea Market Building for $2.4 billion nearby its current New York HQ. The sale is touted as one of the most expensive real estate transactions for a single building in the history of New York. The same December, it was announced that a $1 billion, 1,700,000 square foot, 160,000 square meters, headquarters for Google would be built in Manhattan's Hudson Square neighborhood. Called Google Hudson Square, the new campus is projected to more than double the number of Google employees working in New York City. Other U.S. cities equals. By late 2006, Google established a new headquarters for its AdWords division in Ann Arbor, Michigan. In November 2006, Google opened offices on Carnegie Mellon's campus in Pittsburgh, focusing on shopping-related advertisement coding and smartphone applications and programs. Other office locations in the U.S. include Atlanta, Georgia, Austin, Texas, Boulder, Colorado, Cambridge, Massachusetts, San Francisco, California, Seattle, Washington, Kirkland, Washington, Birmingham, Michigan, Reston, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. In October 2006, the company announced plans to install thousands of solar panels to provide up to 1.6 megawatts of electricity, enough to satisfy approximately 30% of the campus energy needs. The system will be the largest solar power system constructed on a U.S. corporate campus and one of the largest on any corporate site in the world. In addition, Google announced in 2009 that it was deploying herds of goats to keep grassland around the Googleplex short, helping to prevent the threat from seasonal bushfires while also reducing the carbon footprint of mowing the extensive grounds. The idea of trimming lawns using goats originated from Bob Whittler, an engineer who worked for National Semiconductor. In 2008, Google faced accusations in Harper's Magazine of being an energy glutton. The company was accused of employing its "Don't Be Evil" motto in its public energy-saving campaigns to cover up or make up for the massive amounts of energy its servers require. International locations equals. Internationally, Google has over 78 offices in more than 50 countries. It also has product research and development operations in cities around the world, namely Sydney, birthplace location of Google Maps, and London, part of Android development. In November 2013, Google announced plans for a new London headquarters, a notable 1 million square foot office able to accommodate 4,500 employees. Recognized as one of the biggest ever commercial property acquisitions at the time of the deal's announcement in January, Google submitted plans for the new headquarters to the Camden Council in June 2017. The new building, if approved, will feature a rooftop garden with a running track, giant moving blinds, a swimming pool, and a multi-use games area for sports. In May 2015, Google announced its intention to create its own campus in Hyderabad, India. The new campus, reported to be the company's largest outside the United States, will accommodate 13,000 employees. Doodles. Since 1998, Google has been designing special, temporary alternate logos to place on their homepage intended to celebrate holidays, events, achievements and people. The first Google Doodle was in honor of the Burning Man Festival of 1998. The doodle was designed by Larry Page and Sergey Brin to notify users of their absence in case the servers crashed. Subsequent Google Doodles were designed by an outside contractor, until Larry and Sergey asked then-intern Dennis Huang to design a logo for Bastille Day in 2000. From that point onward, doodles have been organized and created by a team of employees termed doodlers. Easter eggs and April Fool's Day jokes. Google has a tradition of creating April Fool's Day jokes. On April 1, 2000, Google Mentalplex allegedly featured the use of mental power to search the web. In 2007, Google announced a free internet service called TSP, or Toilet Internet Service Provider, where one obtained a connection by flushing one end of a fiber optic cable down their toilet. Also in 2007, Google's Gmail page displayed an announcement per Gmail paper, allowing users to have email messages printed and shipped to them. In 2008, Google announced Gmail Custom Time, where users could change the time that the email was sent. In 2010, Google changed its company name to Topeka in honor of Topeka, Kansas, whose mayor changed the city's name to Google for a short amount of time in an attempt to sway Google's decision in its new Google Fiber project. In 2011, Google announced Gmail Motion, an interactive way of controlling Gmail and the computer with body movements via the user's webcam. Google's services contain Easter eggs, such as the Swedish chefs Bork Bork Bork, Pig Latin, Hacker or Leetspeak, Elmerfudd, Pirate, and Klingonist language selections for its search engine. The search engine calculator provides the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything from Douglas Adams' The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. When searching the word recursion, the spell checker's result for the properly spelled word is exactly the same word, creating a recursive link. When searching for the word anagram, meaning a rearrangement of letters from one word to form other valid words, Google's suggestion feature displays "Did you mean Nagaram?" In Google Maps, searching for directions between places separated by large bodies of water, such as Los Angeles and Tokyo, results in instructions to kayak across the Pacific Ocean. During FIFA World Cup 2010, search queries including World Cup and FIFA caused the Go page indicator at the bottom of every result page to read Go Al instead. Philanthropy. In 2004, Google formed the not-for-profit Philanthropy Google.org, with a startup fund of $1 billion. The mission of the organization is to create awareness about climate change, global public health, and global poverty. One of its first projects was to develop a viable plug-in hybrid electric vehicle that can attain 100 miles per gallon. Google hired Larry Brilliant as the program's executive director in 2004, and Megan Smith has since replaced him as director. In 2008, Google announced its Project 10,100, which accepted ideas for how to help the community and then allowed Google users to vote on their favorites. After 2 years of silence, during which many wondered what had happened to the program, Google revealed the winners of the project, giving a total of $10 million to various ideas ranging from non-profit organizations that promote education to a website that intends to make all legal documents public and online. In March 2007, in partnership with the Mathematical Sciences Research Institute, MSRI, Google hosted the first Julia Robinson Mathematics Festival at its headquarters in Mountain View. In 2011, Google donated €1 million to International Mathematical Olympiad to support the next 5 annual International Mathematical Olympiads, 2011 to 2015. In July 2012, Google launched a Legalize Love campaign in support of gay rights. Tax avoidance. Google uses various tax avoidance strategies. Out of the 5 largest American technology companies, it pays the lowest taxes to the countries of origin of its revenues. Google between 2007 and 2010 saved $3.1 billion in taxes by shuttling non-US profits through Ireland and the Netherlands and then to Bermuda. Such techniques lower its non-US tax rate to 2.3%, while normally the corporate tax rate in, for instance, the UK is 28%. This has reportedly sparked a French investigation into Google's transfer pricing practices. Following criticism of the amount of corporate taxes that Google paid in the United Kingdom, Chairman Eric Schmidt said, "It's called capitalism. We are proudly capitalistic." During the same December 2012 interview, Schmidt confirmed that the company had no intention of paying more to the UK Exchequer. Google Vice President Matt Britton testified to the Public Accounts Committee of the UK House of Commons that his UK sales team made no sales and hence owed no sales taxes to the UK. In January 2016, Google reached a settlement with the UK to pay £130 million in back taxes plus higher taxes in future. Environment. Since 2007, Google has aimed for carbon neutrality in regard to its operations. Google disclosed in September 2011 that it continuously uses enough electricity to power 200,000 homes, almost 260 million watts or about a quarter of the output of a nuclear power plant. Total carbon emissions for 2010 were just under 1.5 million metric tons, mostly due to fossil fuels that provide electricity for the data centers. Google said that 25% of its energy was supplied by renewable fuels in 2010. An average search uses only 0.3 watt-hours of electricity, so all global searches are only 12.5 million watts or 5% of the total electricity consumption by Google. In 2007, Google launched a project centered on developing renewable energy, titled the Renewable Energy Cheaper Than Coal, RE Less Than C project. However, the project was cancelled in 2014, after engineers Ross Koningstein and David Fork understood, after years of study, that best-case scenario, which was based on our most optimistic forecasts for renewable energy, would still result in severe climate change, writing that they came to the conclusion that even if Google and others had led the way toward a wholesale adoption of renewable energy, that switch would not have resulted in significant reductions in carbon dioxide emissions. In June 2013, The Washington Post reported that Google had donated $50,000 to the Competitive Enterprise Institute, a libertarian think tank that calls human carbon emissions a positive factor in the environment and argues that global warming is not a concern. In July 2013, it was reported that Google had hosted a fundraising event for Oklahoma Senator Jim Inhofe, who has called climate change a hoax. In 2014, Google cut ties with the American Legislative Exchange Council, ALEC, after pressure from the Sierra Club, major unions and Google's own scientists because of ALEC's stance on climate change and opposition to renewable energy. In November 2017, Google bought 536 megawatts of wind power. The purchase made the firm reach 100% renewable energy. The wind energy comes from 2 power plants in South Dakota, one in Iowa and one in Oklahoma. Lobbying. In 2013, Google ranked 5th in lobbying spending, up from 213th in 2003. In 2012, the company ranked 2nd in campaign donations of technology and Internet sections. Litigation. Google has been involved in a number of lawsuits including the high-tech employee antitrust litigation which resulted in Google being one of 4 companies to pay a $415 million settlement to employees. On June 27, 2017, the company received a record fine of €2.42 billion from the European Union for promoting its own shopping comparison service at the top of search results. Commenting on the penalty, New Scientist magazine said, "The hefty sum, the largest ever doled out by the EU's competition regulators, will sting in the short term, but Google can handle it." Alphabet, Google's parent company, made a profit of $2.5 billion, €2.2 billion, in the first 6 weeks of 2017 alone. The real impact of the ruling is that Google must stop using its dominance as a search engine to give itself the edge in another market, online price comparisons. The company disputed the ruling.